everybody's got their opinion. I understand that. I get that. But when we're talking about hardware and software, it's a scientific reality and an economic reality, two things that can be empirically measured by numbers, data, market trends, and so on and so forth. So when I see comments like this, which this video basically is kind of a continuation of a comment thread that I've found myself in on Doc's channel, and this person is telling me that PC gamers are lying, right? I have to question and say, okay, what exactly are you complaining about? Because when you narrow it all down, I simply have receipts that I can show you. I have shown you in numerous videos, and I will show you again in this video, because I think, to me, a lot of these agencies that are coming out now, who in some cases, some made fun of this gentleman for going to Walmart to buy a gaming PC and now are twisting everything around because somebody has gifted him a $2,000 PC, can't seem to figure out what in the world the problem is. After all this person said, I told them, I said, okay, your console is better than a $900 PC. Laugh emoji. Go ahead and keep thinking that. Enjoy your PlayStation 5/Pro. Okay. That's all I said. I said, you know what? Take the argument, go. Okay? I'll let you keep believing that you actually are correct. Because at this point, I'm just like, you know what? A lot of people don't care about the truth, right? Because I can tell you that there are numbers to back up what I'm saying, and we can see all of it. Do you know what this person said? They said, yes, from the perspective of someone that has a better PC than a $900 PC, a $700 console is better price to performance than a $900 PC. What? Like, can you please show me what is inside of your better PC? What is inside the $900 PC? And can I show you what is inside of my $700 PC so that we can compare it to the PlayStation 5 Pro and PlayStation 5? Are we going to do that, or are we just going to sit there and just talk because you want to spout nonsense? The reason I entertained that you keep thinking what you're thinking is because you're not concerned about the truth. Because I can simply just show you how that $650, $700, whatever dollar PC, how it performs. Are you interested in actually seeing the data in terms of gaming? Or can we just go ahead and actually put everything to rest and realize that your $500, $700 console will never be able to come close to what a gaming PC is capable of doing? For example, all the other tasks that we've negated from the equation, we're going to bring it back and put it on the table. So not only does that $700 PC beat your whatever console, that PC can make games, it can render videos, it can render 3D application, workloads. It can actually build and compile raw code, things that are very important, because without them, you wouldn't be playing these video games, and your console cannot do them. So if a $500 PC, used market $500 PC, brand new $500 PC can execute on these tasks, and your console has nowhere close to that, then you have no argument. Like, you really cannot make a case for your console being better than a PC. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. If you have a gaming PC and you're gaming on the console, that's your choice. But you can never say, or maybe you just don't understand the depth, the breadth, and the width of the gaming PC that you actually own at home. So probably you bought a device that you maybe don't have an understanding of, and you're using it, and you want to somehow come and think you'll beat me on the head with a stick, who actually has and built, just for the sake of it, for the sake of it, this so-called $700 PC to show that the value was there. Put my money where my mouth was. I took the step. I did not go ahead and try to tell somebody to do something that I wasn't going to do. Does that make sense? So when Doc bought his $900 PC, I looked and said, Doc, that value is actually not there. You paid a premium for this $900 PC. And Doc understood that. He's like, well, I'm not really well versed in the hardware, and I wanted to go ahead and do away with what I thought was overwhelming for me. Okay, understandable, but you paid the premium, right? Now, somebody else built this PC for him that is, according to the price point, around $1,500, $2,000 PC, whatever it is. That person saved way more money. If he bought that PC, right, as a pre-built, it would have cost way more. If you understand what I mean. So already you're pretty much running this. And I said, so you've never built a PC before. You may have a PC based on a price point, but that price point means nothing if we don't know what your PC can actually do. Because in the console, we know exactly what it can do. You're not talking to somebody who is unaware of the hardware limitations of a console. You're talking to somebody who I've been paying very close attention since I put my money and bought myself a PS5 only to be disappointed by the poor value that it just provided. And if it wasn't for that poor value, I would not have been able to basically go ahead and understand, in my opinion anyways, what the entire proposition of PC brings to the table. Now let's go ahead and let's expose this. Let me open up your PlayStation 5. What am I going to find when I open this PlayStation 5? What's going to be inside? What's powering your games? It looks like what's on the left, which is the 4700S desktop kit. The difference is, and follow my mouse in this particular example, this little black thing here, these ports here for USB, and this PCIe connector are missing. So are the other pins as well. In fact, if we go back and do maybe look at a teardown of a PlayStation 5, you're going to see similarities. Digital Foundry was able to get their hands on these kits. The one on the right is the Series X kit, which, if you remove the same components, which were basically converted into desktops by adding these different components and was sold only in China, they were able to make desktops out of it. And Digital Foundry did full-blown analysis of it, comparing the Series X kit and different CPUs on the market to see what was there. And those CPUs all fell flat. So if I can just find any CPU around that time that could already pummel the Series X's CPU, which is better than the PS5 CPU, I already know I have a better device than that PS5 on a central processing unit perspective. The next goal is a dedicated GPU that is capable of also beating the APU level GPU inside of the Series X kit and the PS5 kit. So I already know exactly what to build to smother the console from a performance perspective. And I already know what the price point I'm looking at is. And so for you to think in your previous comments that somewhere, somehow, that you require $2,000 to do it without even showing us what that is, already shows that, number one, we're not even talking on the same frequency. We're both just talking past each other because you refuse to listen and the evidence and the data is right in front of you. Or maybe you just didn't know that the data and the evidence was right in front of you. This is why I make these videos, because everybody acts like inside the console is some secret sauce in there. No, it's not. This video, the biggest travesty is that this video does not have 75 million views at least, or 100 million views, so that every single user of the two new consoles, the Series SX and the PS5, would know exactly what is inside of their device. This is why you're arguing from a blind position. You are not looking at what is here. That's why I'm looking and I'm just basically folding my hand going, what in the world are you talking about? How does this beat dedicated hardware? Not only this, but this in a locked ecosystem where everything is controlled. How does it beat devices that you can actually build in an open ecosystem with components that you can source with different price points, deals, opportunities, tiers, levels, and so on and so forth? What's even worse is that they're both made by the same manufacturer, which is one manufacturer of two in any given area. Let me explain. AMD made this entire APU. If I want a CPU that would clown this CPUs inside of these two, I can buy either an AMD CPU that will clown it or an Intel CPU, giving me two possibilities, and under those two possibilities, dozens of other possibilities in terms of CPU capacity that I can get from either the used market or the new market, and I can get the price points to where I want because there's competition and availability of hardware. In the GPU segment, I can also do the same. I think many of you are coming out of the woodwork now that you're seeing GPU prices go up, because whenever there's a new GPU launch series, that's always what happens. Because you could never do this when I was showing a lot of this secret sauce last year. Because once we get into the summer and prices are going to level out and stock is going to be in the market, you're going to cower and go hide again because you will not be able to make this argument. So what you're doing is you want to maybe come in here during a price elastic situation and creates a foment some kind of thing to maybe seem like you know what you're talking about, but that's not the case. And meanwhile, PlayStation is increasing the price of old hardware, whereas we're seeing price fluctuations based on the fact that new hardware on PC is coming to the market. This user, I have nothing against you. Does that make sense? I don't care what you decide to do with your gaming. The only thing is, as long as the truth is here, I am going to continue to say it. I won't let you just walk away and lie. You know what makes sense? I'm telling you, bro, I'm not going to let you just walk away and just say whatever the heck it is that you want. Because the truth is literally in front of all of us. YouTube is free. We can all go to YouTube and look at this video right here, where they opened it up, they tested it with a huge slew of games, including the Gotham Knights game that's locked at 30 FPS on it anyways, and showed when they unlock it. In fact, when they tested it, they gave it a 7900 XTX. They gave it the best GPU ever. Does that make sense, guys? That means they didn't even give it the same energy that you have locked in the box. They even gave it more of a oomph. They were like, you know what? Here's some extra juice for you. And that $700 build is still smoking it because the CPU is bottlenecked. Do you see exactly what's going on here, guys? You see what's going on? You see what's happening? A lot of people are making comments on this particular area. And to be very honest, I have to say, please slow down, take some time, learn what this is all about. Maybe you can go on Doc's channel and you can say all this stuff, maybe because, Doc is not necessarily, getting too deep into the hardware and all that stuff. But are you kidding me? For somebody who, out of leisure, just looked and said, let me entertain the PlayStation fanboys and let me build a PC that can beat their own console at a price point that they won't believe it. Because many of them were actually saying you needed a $1,500 PC. The reason I went with the $700 build is because they were saying you needed $1,000. That's literally one of the reasons I actually did that. Because if we get to $1,000 price point, we're no longer in that conversation. And then we know that there's a $1,000 PlayStation 5 Pro special edition console. Even though Mama Sue or Jensen signs a GPU, it ain't gonna still be able to compare to that $1,000 PlayStation 5 Pro 30th anniversary edition, scam that they pulled on console players, where many of them were paying thousands of dollars to scalpers to try to buy it. You don't want this. You really don't want this line of thinking to continue unfettered. Do you know why? Do you know why you don't want this line of thinking to continue unfettered? Because you have to make leaps that are just not available to you. You actually have to, listen, in order for your argument to stand, you need a PC foundation for that argument to even stand. Meaning you have to build your own argument on the fact that PCs are a superior platform for your argument to even begin. Does that make sense? Because this is PC architecture right here. And if you have to actually basically go ahead and try to bite the hand that fed you, you're already in a very different world, if you get what I mean. So let's cut it out. But if you want to continue, I'm going to continue bringing evidence, man. Like I'm going to lay it all out. And we haven't even gotten to the price. And I haven't even shown my receipts. Just wait till we get there. If we even have to get there. Peace out.